Penn State is set to have their spring football game this coming Saturday. I'm fired up. We got college football back on the television screen. However you get ready for your college football Saturday, you might as well do that for this spring college football Saturday. There's a lot of big games on the television screen, a lot of big spring games on the television screen. To some people, it's practice. To us, this is as big as it gets in April. So like I said, Penn State, spring game set to get on and popping. We got to preview a couple of things going into this game because Penn State's got a lot ahead of them in 2023, a lot of big aspirations. Just won the Rose Bowl, have a chance to go and compete for the college football playoff. A lot of people believe this coming season, a lot of key pieces back. But what is the rallying cry for the good folks in College Station, in State College? What gets you fired up for this coming season? Likely it's your quarterback, Drew Allar. Because Sean Clifford, if you've watched this program for any length of time, you know I believe he is a legend in State College, and he should be remembered as such. Played at Penn State for the last 13 years, faithfully. Served your Nittany Lions. But there was many occasions, many Saturday afternoons, where you're watching Sean Clifford and you're saying, man, if we just had a little bit more at quarterback, we might be able to win this game. If we just had a little bit more oomph offensively in the pass game, we might have a different outcome. We'll enter in five-star quarterback, Drew Allar. What does he look like in this spring football game? Typically, what I look for quarterbacks in spring games and spring college football games, I'm like, I just want to see you look solid. I just want to see you look comfortable, deal the football effectively, hand out Gatorade accordingly, be a good teammate. Like I still want to see those things from Drew Allar, but I have a different tenor when it comes to talking about him. For Drew Allar, I want to see him put his stake in the ground and make a statement to everybody in State College, everybody watching on TV, his coaching staff, his teammates. I'm the guy. I am your quarterback. Because there's been kind of some spring chatter and some rumblings that is there a quarterback battle going on at Penn State? And I get it. You have to preach competition. Bo Pribula should have a role to some extent this coming fall. But for Drew Allar, I want to see him, like I just said, make an absolute statement in this spring football game. I want to see him wheeling and dealing. I want to see him show off the cannon. I want to see him high energy. I want to see him look the part. I want to see highlight plays, man. And for goodness sake, it's been a minute since we got some college football on the television screen, so I don't think that's too much to ask. But why do we want to see that? Well, one, it just makes a statement, like to everybody, hey, I'm that dude. But even more importantly, this is the last time they'll play 11 on 11 until they get to fall camp and get rolling into what is the beautiful thing that is the college football season, even though the game never stops. This would be a prove it to yourself moment. So you build some confidence internally. This would be a prove it to the rest of your teammates moment as well. Now, I don't pretend to know the internal feel as it pertains to Drew Allar in the quarterback room. Like, I'm not going to go ahead and just tell you things that I don't know. But I would just say this. Seeing your quarterback in the heat of 11 on 11, doing good things, and taking, what he did in practice well to eventually a competitive setting like that, that means something. There's some confidence that you build within your teammates by playing well in situations like this. And I don't know that Drew Allar really needs to do that, but I want to see it, and I think it'd be a positive thing for Penn State because then you feel even better internally like, hey, yeah, 15's our guy. There's no doubt about it. 15's our guy. Even if they don't announce it to the rest of the masses, there will be a feeling internally. Drew Allar. That's that guy. Allar Billy, y'all. Okay, now the other thing I want to watch. Who stretches the field for Penn State? At the wide receiver position. You probably already have thought this through, and you're probably already watching the same thing, but let's talk about this for a second. Well, one, make sure you're subscribed. Penn State Nittany Lion faithful, y'all have been riding with us, so we appreciate you for that. And if you have not yet joined the party, man, no time like the present. Got a very good feeling we will talk a lot of Penn State into fall camp, into the season, and likely into, I believe, at least late into 2023. So we'll keep an eye on this. But again, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, @JDPakel, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all, man. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, you're worried about the receiver position, but let's backtrack a little bit. What do you have already offensively? Two of the best backs in the country. Nick Singleton could be the very best back in the country this coming season. Katron Allen is a dog. They're both coming back, about to get after it. So you feel really good about the run game. And oh, by the way, the offensive line, a lot of key pieces back. My boy Hunter Norzad, Cornell alum, shout out to Hunter. You got some key pieces back. So you feel good about running the football. So my pieces are good offensive line, good running back room, big arm quarterback. That's great, but what are we missing here? Explosive wide receiver play. Do we get to see that in the spring football game? The reason why that's so important for Penn State, if you have a good O-line, a good running back room, what can you do? Run the football. You got a big arm quarterback and throw the ball a long ways. But hey, 60 yards in the air and falling on the turf, that's still an incomplete pass. You got to start back at the line of scrimmage, brother. Having Drew Allar, having him be successful, a lot of it matters what they have at the receiver position. Like if I got a great phone, I got the nicest phone in the world, that's phenomenal. But if I can't connect with anyone, if I can't call somebody, I don't have any numbers, anybody to call, anybody to dial it up to, that phone isn't really getting utilized to its maximum potential. That's the same thing with Penn State. Drew Allar, I believe, is going to be the best quarterback you've had at Penn State in a very long time. But if he doesn't have any receivers to consistently stretch the ball downfield, we may have a little bit of an issue in terms of achieving what we want to achieve. And aspirations are high. Like I said, they should be high based on what you did a season ago. So let's take a look at this. Keandre Lambert-Smith, dog. If you know, you know. I mean, he showed you what he's got in the Rose Bowl. You already know that he's going to be a guy for you. Having one wide receiver that can go, that's phenomenal. But who else is it? Trey Wallace, some excitement around him. Omari Evans, some excitement around him. In the spring game, those are the guys that I'm really watching. Now, Dante Cephas, those of y'all that have been tuned into some action, you know about him from Kent State. I think he's going to help you when he gets to Penn State. You got to get him up to speed, got to get him rolling, but you're not going to see him in the spring football game. Sad but true. So does Trey Wallace, Omari Evans, does anybody else add to the stretching the field vertical effort for Penn State? Because when you're multifaceted, then you can kind of play what Michigan did the last couple of years. Bully ball up front. We're going to run the football till you say uncle. And then when you try and commit extra resources, linebackers play in the box. Hey, safeties, fill quicker. Deep bomb. We're chilling, 6 points. So that's the kind of effort I'd like to see in this game. Effort's maybe the wrong word. I want to see that it's there. Even if you're not connecting with Keandre Lambert-Smith, even if it's not Drew Allar in the game, I just want to see the separation. I want to be able to go back, if I'm a coach, and look at the film and say, yeah, we would have had him here. I got the cowboy here, which is essentially how you operate the film. For those of y'all that wonder what I'm doing with my hands right now, yeah, we would have had him here, would have had him here. Yep, safety a bit here, a lot of room to throw. You just separated one-on-one here. Good job, Trey. I want to hear that kind of thing if I'm internal at Penn State. Because to be multifaceted just allows you to fight different styles. So we feel that way about the offense. Take a temperature for it. Don't know that you get the absolute this coming spring game, but just take a temperature for it. Is it there? Is there something to build off of? If there's something to build off of in the spring, we can capitalize in the fall. Show me you can build off of it in this spring game. Now, the defense. Man, you should be fired up about your defense. Manny Diaz has got those boys playing. Gave up 18 points a game last year. One of the best defenses in the country. You bring back 75% of the production. Okay, so the Jimmies and Joes, we feel pretty good about that. I will say this, though. You lose a couple of key pieces. Joey Porter Jr., gone to the league. P.J. Mustipher, Jair Wilson. Some guys that, were pretty impactful pieces for your defense. But again, like I said, you got a lot coming back, so I'm not going to stress too much on that. I just want to see them, one, look the part. Don't have busted coverages. Don't be misaligned. Don't miss your assignment. Play like you're one of the top defenses in the country with 75% production coming back. Play like that. Run sideline to sideline. Have an edge about yourself. I want to see that with the ones, okay? I don't have a ton of reservations about that, but here's the key piece for Penn State and what we could potentially get a good little learning point from this spring football game. The two games that are going to define Penn State's season in terms of making the college football playoff, winning the Big Ten, the two games are Michigan and Ohio State. Now, when do they play those games? A little bit later in the year. They play Ohio State, October 21st. They play Michigan, November 11th. Now, the interesting thing about this, where they are on the calendar likely tells you that you may not have the same roster healthy as opening day as you do in those football games. So what we can keep an eye on in this spring football game is depth. How do the twos look? When the ones rotate out, the one defense, is there a noticeable drop-off with those twos? Is the team speed different? Is the physicality different? Or is it kind of like, yeah, you know what? We have two pretty good options here. The ones are the ones for a reason. The twos are twos for a reason. But we feel good about these guys at the very least contributing and rotating in. Because depth is what wins these football games. Depth is what's going to get Penn State over the hump. And I believe defensively that is going to show itself against Ohio State and Michigan later in the year. Because you may not have everybody healthy, man, just the way that football works. So at Penn State, the spring game is for taking a temperature, not absolutes. I say it all the time, hashtag no spring Heismans. Drew Allar, he's not winning the Heisman Trophy in this spring football game, but I'd love to see him look the part. I'd love to see him, again, make a claim that, hey, I'm your quarterback. You got the tape now to see it. You got my resume. Builds his own self-confidence. Builds his confidence within his team, confidence within his staff. Hey, we're following that guy into a dark alley. We've got our direction. We've got our leader. Let's roll. Some guy stretching the field. I got no reservations about Keandre Lambert-Smith. Does somebody else flash on tape a little bit in this spring football game? You'd like to see it. If you're a Penn State fan, you would very much like to see that and hopefully get something to build upon when it comes to the fall. The defense, they're going to be good again. How much depth is within this roster when it comes to the defensive side of the ball? Should be a whole lot of fun. But again, we'll be locked and loaded, baby. The Penn State spring football game about to get on and popping. This is so much fun. Thank you for tuning in with us. If you haven't yet subscribed, you found your home. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I want to hear from y'all, man, at JD Piquel. All right, we're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.